Hello, everybody, and welcome to another round of Division 4 League of Europe, the proven breeding ground for the future class of Division 2 flops and disappointments for seasons to come. This week we have 23 corners of the Singapore Grand Prix, a track infamous for being long, wet, and tight, as the track really does penetrate your tyres no matter what rubber you choose to wear. These drivers are going to have to be mentally strong for this one. Everyone and their cousin will have to be on focus. And speaking of cousins, if he dyed his hair blonde, he'd be a Lannister. I am joined in the commentary booth by the Man Red to my Manchester United, the Formula E to my F1, and the Harvey Price to my Lenny Saville. Sandal FC's very own underrated left-back, Ethan Song. How are you doing, mate?
Thank you for the immaculate entrance. That was very nice. But yeah, anyways, leading us into this one, 31 laps of the Marina Bay Street Circuit, all 23 corners. It's going to be very difficult for these drivers to make it all the way around and make it to the checkered flag at the end of this race. But drivers that have proven to do that so far are currently up at the top of the championship right now. Ryan B. Leading the championship on 64 points, 10 points in front of Alt Maverick, who is on 54, 10 points in front of Giant Bravery, who won last time out, his first win in League of Europe. Cam K on 43, just 1 point, taking his first podium of the season last time at Silverstone. Major Falcon on 39, Storm on 30, Ariel Jordan on 26, Mr. Wouter on 24, Energetics on 19, and MCR on 16. That's your top 10 in the championship. But looking into this one, it's going to be quite interesting to see who comes out on top here in Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore is always one of those tracks, isn't it? You don't actually know what you're going to get. Well, one thing they'll be hoping they don't get is rain, because the race lasts for about 4 hours if you get rain. But I think with this, it's just about strategy spaghetti. We don't know what anyone's going to pick for strategy. Safety cars basically decide this race, especially in a lower division. So you can't pick a winner, and qualifying's not going to tell us anything, I don't think.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see what type of strategy these guys, because the strategy is decided here in qualifying. Really depends on, are you inside the top 10? Are you outside the top 10? Are you going to be starting on the softs, maybe the mediums, or you could see a few drivers go for the harder compound here in qualifying. But it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers decide to go for and decide to. What are they going to do with their races, especially even with safety cars? It's going to be interesting to see, just in case there is that slight chance that we won't get a safety car here tonight. But Singapore, it's quite common. You normally see 1, 2, maybe 3 if there are a few incidents.
And there will be a few incidents, that can be guaranteed. Lap 1 especially, turn 1 and 2, not the easiest corners. And we're already seeing not many drivers coming out onto the grid there. I think we may already be deciding some of the strategies, but I'll be surprised if people don't want to go out and do some feeler laps on the softs, as someone's finally coming out.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be one of the Haas's, so it's either going to be TRT James or Bag of Bones, and it is going to be the former in the number 38 Haas. It's going to be, let's see what he's going out on right now. It's going to be the soft tires to kick it off here in qualifying for TRT James, having a massive lock up there into turn 3. That's not exactly what you want to do to start off your session, but you can already see most drivers not even leaving the pit lane in the first minute and a half or so here in qualifying, but TRT James was the first driver to go out, and then there's an Aston Martin following him out. That might be Storm UK, who selected the mediums, as well as Connor and Iver and Mike, who have also selected the medium tires out on track. Qualifying expectations here for in terms of lap times on the softs, I would expecting maybe mid 34s, I want to say, maybe low 34s if someone really quick here at Singapore and really enjoys the track. But I don't know, maybe mid 34s and then possibly 35s, I'm guessing, on mediums.
Yeah, and it is one of those tracks, isn't it, where the gap's not as big normally in other tracks. You could say, maybe look at a Brazil, and the D4 times won't be too far off of like Division 2 and 3. Singapore, you really do see a skill gap in times. It drops significantly, and I think we're going to see a big change. I don't think everyone will be that close together. I am surprised at people coming out on the mediums so early on. I feel like if you're going to come out on them, you're going to wait till the end when the track's developed a little bit. But maybe they just want to get a feeler and go for it later on. But at the moment, it's good to see some people coming out, because Singapore qualifying can sometimes be a very tough job for commentators.
Yeah, it can be very difficult, but as James will lead us on to the first flying lap of the evening here in Division 4. 23 corners of the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Let's see how he's able to navigate it, breaking into turn 1, down to third gear to get that rotation. A little bit of a slide on that apex curb, and now going through turn 3. You don't want to touch that inside curb. It will unsettle your car as you get traction through turn 4, and now through the all-important turn 5 as we go on to Raffles Boulevard here for the first time and to end this first sector. Opening up the DRS, he's going to get a little bit of a slipstream off the Aston Martin in front of him, but I don't think he'll give him too much of an advantage. But now through the first sector split, let's see what it's going to be. 27.2 as we head into Memorial Corner 4, turn 7, and to start this middle sector. Storm will get out of the way very nicely there on the right-hand side as TRT James has a massive lockup into turn 8, and he goes very wide. That can completely ruin his momentum through the first 3 corners of this middle sector. Heading through turn 9, a little bit slidey there for the Haas driver, but now we head into the Old Singapore sling. Flick it in for the left-hander of turn 10, through 11, and now through 12. All important is a little bit of a slide, really not too tidy there through as we go under the bridge, and now braking into turn 13. Now he's going to have to try and get the traction. Third gear out of the corner to get that traction as now we head out of turn 13 with the DRS open for the second time on this lap. A 105.4 in the middle sector. Not exactly where you want to be as we head through turn 14 and now to through the technical section of the circuit into turn 15 and now through 16 and 17. The first of 3 chicanes as Ariel Passe has been disqualified from the session for being parked in a dangerous location as James heading through 18 and through 19 under the grandstand we go, and now through 20 and 21 the final chicane in this lap. Really struggling with tire temps. I think he might just back off of this one, or he might just go again. I think he's going to go again, actually. So let's see what lap time is going to be. It's not going to be too amazing. Yeah, 38.9, not exactly where you want to be. Let's see who else is on a lap, though, right now. It's one of the Mercedes. I believe that's going to be Ryan Bees just starting, and then an Aston Martin. I think that's going to be Eduk. I'm not entirely sure. No, it's going to be one of the Ferraris and then Eduk. But, yeah, interesting lap from James. I think he backed off just after a few of those mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think he needed to back off. The lap was very shaky, but I'm not sure what happened with Passe. He was just parked on the exit of turn 6. He was just sat there and not moving at all, and then all of a sudden just reversed into a wall and got disqualified. So I'm not really sure what was happening there. But I think, is TRT James going for another lap here? It don't look like he's taking it easy.
I'm guessing he's going to be pushing, considering he was at 100% ERS before. Ooh, still slidey. Still on 100% ERS, so I don't think he's using any of that ERS. So it's going to be... I think he's just going to be saving up and waiting for that medium lap towards the end of the session. He pulls across the line. 36.6 for the Alfa Romeo. There's one of the Alpines and then the Ferrari. I think that's going to be Alt Maverick. Just crossing the line. 34.9, but it was invalid. So a decent lap that would have put him on provisional pole position, but I think he invalidated through that final corner because he did get this. And next, Ariel Jordan crosses the line, invalid 35.6. You can already see a lot of drivers either purposely or not or invalidating their laps. But Major Falcon 35.1, a driver possibly going for pole position there on that soft compound of tire. TRT James across the line once again. 38.2, but it was invalid once again. He improved by 0.6 on his previous lap, but it's not going to count. I think Marty's going to be the next driver to cross the line, and he's on the medium, so he's going to be the second driver to set a lap time on the mediums. The only other driver is Ivorbird Mike in P5 on a 37.3.
Marty's on a decent one here. He's coming around the last corner.
Yeah, Marty just about to cross the line. 36 flat there for Marty. That's actually not too bad, if I'm going to be completely honest. Up into P3 on the second row of the grid, but obviously P8 downwards, still yet to set a lap time as of yet. I think the next driver to cross the line is Vagabond, but he's just starting, and then the Aston Martin and the Mercedes both coming into the pit lane there, as there is a Red Bull. And Slayer just coming into the pits. So yeah, you can see most of the drivers finishing their first runs out there on track. Backbone's just started one, and I think he's going to be the only other driver on a lap. So let's just ride on board with him as we start to talk about what's going to be going on in the last 11 minutes of this session.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you'd expect most people to be going for the mediums, and these soft runs will be kind of irrelevant. But you look at someone like Major Falcon, that's a tough time to beat on the medium tyres. I feel like he has to commit now to pushing for pole on the softs, which is a bold strategy. I mentioned it briefly in the Relentless chat and was shot down immediately for attempting to use the softs and start at the front. So it's one of those where it can work out in your favour, but I feel like at this point, with a lap like that, he has to just commit to trying to get pole now.
Yeah, I think Major Falcon's only real chance is to be getting pole here. Marty getting out of the way of Vagabonds, who seems to be on a pretty decent lap here. Actually, you want to be in the low 1 minute 103.2. That actually seems pretty decent if I'm not going to be, and if I'm going to be completely honest. He's using his ERS, so possibly going for pole position here. I haven't seen any purple sectors quite yet from the Haas driver, but let's see how he gets on through the rest of this final sector. Heading into turn number 18 under the grandstand. A little bit cautious there on entry. Down to second gear, which is a little bit questionable if I'm going to be honest, but yeah, through the final chicane. Let's see what it's going to be. I think he might have just backed off a little bit, maybe. Yeah, into the pit lane he goes. So not completing that soft run. So possibly going for mediums here, even though Vagabonds, it looked like it was going to be a pretty decent lap up until that point.
Yeah, I think he was just getting a feel for the track, you know, getting a bit of confidence before he goes out on the mediums. I can't see most people actually setting a lap on the softs. I think maybe the P4 could improve with the mediums. We've seen it obviously with Marty, he's got a 36 flat and he had a little bit of time to find. But I think at the moment it's just going to be, until we get to like the last few minutes, where it's going to be then chaos as everyone comes out to do the medium lap. The only issue is obviously you only get 1 or 2 runs with them, so you have to make it count. We're going to have Slayer now. He's coming out on the medium, so I wonder if he's looking to set a lap early, go in and go again. Are you the type of driver where would you prefer to do 2 runs with the lowest fuel possible, or would you just stick a bit more fuel and do 2 consecutive runs? Because I've always found with a track like this, if I go out with enough to do 2 laps, my second lap tends to be better.
I did a little bit of messing around with it. I did a few sessions where I did the two laps. The Storm completely backed off his lap. I did a few sessions where I did back-to-back, and I don't know. I didn't really find a difference. I tended to like the lower fuel at the end of the session, 1 lap, to see where you can see where you're going to be starting on the grid. But I'm not entirely sure, if I'm going to be completely honest. I have to flush it out before I head into short qualifying for D2 in just over an hour's time. So it's gonna be, I'm not entirely sure, but I think for me personally it's just the 1 lap, or just do two hot laps, just with the 1 lap, go out, do your hot lap, come back in. But yeah, I think that's what it would be for me. As some kind of validates. They're unfortunate there for him. He looked to be on a pretty decent lap, 103.3 through that middle sector. I think McDutchface is the next driver behind him on a lap on the medium tires as well. So it's going to be interesting to see where he can put himself. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It's interesting. Singapore, especially on this game now, it was a pretty easy soft hard strategy on the last game. The softs weren't that bad compared to the mediums and compared to the hards. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure on this game because the softs on this game are absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, it's definitely, Slayer's just about to come start his lap on the mediums. It's one of those tracks where, say in qualifying, I'd definitely want a soft lap in. Obviously you'd make it slower, but the risk of invalidating your medium lap and starting at the back at Singapore just sounds absolutely dreadful to me. So I'd like to at least put in a soft time that could maybe get me P11, P12 or something, and then go for the mediums and hope for the best. But we've got a few drivers now still yet to set a time. Half the grid actually nearly hasn't set a time. The people that have set a time that are looking impressive, Marty's still sitting in P3 on the mediums. That's a good time considering the 2 ahead of him are on softs. At the moment he looks like he's in the best spot, but obviously there's a lot more people to set a lap. Slayer's pace is looking decent at the moment, as he whisked really close to hitting the inside barrier there. That could have been a disaster of a lap, but he's backing off. I think he invalidated.
Yep.
And it's whether or not he's going to go back for another run now, or put it in to the pits and go right near the end. But some people believe in the track evolution and some don't. But you do notice a lot more increase at the end of the session.
Ooh, Alt Maverick. Next driver to finish a lap. Actually, that's not invalid. He made a little bit of a mistake there at the end of the final sector, hitting the wall in the exit at out of turn 21, and then going a little bit wide at the apex, completely missing the apex, really, at the final 2 corners. But yeah, Alt Maverick up into P2 onto the front row of the grid, 135.2. It'd be difficult to beat that, I would imagine, for Alt Maverick on mediums. But yeah, let's see what he could do later on in the session. Seemingly going for softs here. Connor has spun in the final sector. Ryan B is on another lap on his set of soft tires. Slayer coming to the line. I don't know if he's starting again or he's just going, or is just finishing that lap for whatever reason. I think he's going to be going again on the medium tires. Let's see where Ryan B, I think, is going to be the next driver, unless I'm completely mistaken. Actually, it's going to be James, I want to say. Well, this is Major Falcon just in front of him. In the Alpine on the soft compound tires, 6th gear there through turn 22, through turn 23, 34.9, and the first driver into the 1 minute 34. So a pretty decent lap there for Major Falcon, and solidifies himself in P1 for the time being. James on the mediums at 138.2 puts himself into P8. Not the worst of laps that he could have done. Ryan B, going to be the next driver to cross the line on the soft set on the soft compounded tires. Yet to set a lap yet. I wonder if he's going to be coming into the pits here. Is the championship leader, and yes, he will. He will move over to the left side of the circuit, and we'll head into the pit lane. A really tricky pit lane here at Singapore. It's so very difficult. You can make quite a few mistakes if you get a little bit wrong. Your tires, especially in the race, are starting to go off.
Yeah, it can be very difficult, and I think is Slayer actually. I think Slayer's on a push lap now. Sorry to go completely off your point there, but I noticed the last lap he was on was a really good lap until he invalidated. So I'm looking at a potential maybe pole sitter here. Obviously, maybe he might not be able to beat the soft times, but as opposed to the mediums, but he's gone quite deep into the chicane. Let's see how he finishes this lap. Very good exit there. Completely misses the curb, doesn't want to risk it. You can find some time if you do that right. And this last corner is very tricky to get right without the back end going, but he's nailed it. He's going to cross it. That's P3. And that is a really good time for the mediums. And I think he'll be happy with that now. I don't think he has to go set another lap.
Yeah, I think Slayer's going to be really happy with that one. I don't even think if he had enough, if he had to go back to the pits, I don't think he would be able to get out in time to set another lap. But so I think that Slayer's session almost over. I think Ryan B just coming out of the pit lane again on the mediums. Jordan has come out of the pit lane on the mediums. Connor has come out of the pit lane on the softs. Interestingly enough, TRT James is crossing the line for another lap on the mediums. Improves by a second, so that's a good improvement for him. 37.3 for James now, but he's done 2 laps on those medium tires. It won't make. Ooh, he's cutting turn 2. And almost hit the wall at turn 3. And almost hit the wall.
Watching.
And almost hit the wall at turn 3, so that could have possibly been his session completely over, but I think it's over already. Giant Bravery's on a lap on the mediums. Winner, obviously, last time out, Ed Silverstone. Let's see what he could do here in the dry at Singapore. Just heading through the final 2 corners now, down to 6th gear to get that turn in. Not using all the track that he could have, but it's a 35.8, so that's actually not too bad either. Only about 0.4 of a second off of Slayer, and now goes into 2nd place on those medium tires. So yeah, Giant Bravery showing his pace once again. He could be right up there, especially when it comes towards race time later on tonight. Jordan must have made a mistake because he's backing off on his flying laps. He has enough time to get to the line and to do another lap, so good there from him. But I don't think there isn't really anyone else on a lap. Giant Bravery might be going again. He's 300ths of a second up on his previous time. I think Connor or Sumcon is on a lap. He just started. Jordan, obviously, as we mentioned, backed off. So yeah, we can ride on board with Giant Bravery once again. 300ths up through the first sector, now heading into the Singapore Sling. Oh yeah, just heading out of the hairpin at turn 13. He's backed off a little bit, I think. Yeah, Giant Bravery has backed off.
My mic came out. I was like, why can't I hear anything? There we go. Headphone jacks for you.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways. Who was I just riding on board with? Jordan actually set a lap of 42.7, so not exactly competitive, but he's going to be going again. Slimcon still on that lap. Ryan B just started in front of his teammate as well. MCR just heading through the first sector now. Baggabones looking to start a lap as well as Cam K, both on medium tires. Major Falcon and Alt Maverick, the 2 front row sitters as of right now, both on out laps. I think Alt Maverick is just about to start his final lap. Eduk on an out lap as well, heading through the final sector. Giant Bravery's into the pit lane to end his session. Ivorbird, Mike, and Marty. It's gonna be a little bit difficult for Marty to get to the line here. I think he's cutting it a little bit close. Pole's on a lap right now in the Alfa Romeo. I think he's going to be the next driver to cross the line. Actually, it's going to be Connor in the Williams. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. P13 to P5. A 35.6 just in front of his teammate. He's going to be sharing the 3rd row of the grid as of right now with his teammate. Edok went up to P4 in the Aston Martin. There's a Haas just crossed the line, and then there's going to be the other Aston Martin of Storm who's just started a lap. Alfa Romeo, that's going to be Pole's on the mediums. P8 only improved by 1 position. and only goes in front of Marty by a few hundredths of a second. But Marty's going to be going again and just a little bit, just heading into the final sector on his outlap. He's going to really have to push it if he wants to get to that line. Iverburn Mike has just started a lap. There's a few more drivers on laps. Eduk was gone fastest in the first sector on a 26.0. He's 0.3 of a second up. He's on a really good lap time as of right now. Anyone else on a lap? Jordan, I think, is just about to come to the line. Has someone just improved? That was Ryan B up into the front row of the grid on the mediums, a 35.1. Jordan only goes P8, unable to match him. It's Hamilton and Bottas at Mercedes for the time being. Let's see, I think that's the two Alpines just about to cross the line. I think MCR is going to be finished, and the other Alpine who's the other Alpine? Major Falcon unable to make it to the line, and even if he did, he was invalid anyways. Alt Maverick has broken his front wing, so he's not going to be improving at all. Eduk is just heading through the middle sector now. It's a 2.2. He's really flying here as Eduk in the final few seconds of qualifying. Iverburn Mike is not exactly going too fast. Storm UK is just trying to follow his teammate, see if he can match his pace. Mick Dutchface is on a lap heading through the middle sector. Bag of Bones also in the middle sector, but Camke yet to set a lap on the medium tires as of right now. Let's see what he can do in the McLaren. 35.5 and goes up to P6. Not too bad for him, but let's ride on board. Who is it? It's going to be Eduk across the line on the softs. It's a 34 flat. That is a really good lap time here in Division 4. Eduk absolutely flying in Singapore, and on those soft tires, he's found his pace here under the lights in at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Red Bull, I think Dutchface is on a lap. Poldy Poles is backed off. Iverburn Mike heading through the final chicane now. Jordan has finished his lap. Slumcon is not going to be going for another one. I think Iverburn Mike is just crossing the line. Let's see what it's going to be. 35.1 for Iverburn Mike, and puts himself third. That's not at all bad for the McLaren driver. Certainly an upturn from where he's been finishing recently in qualifying, but I think that's going to be qualifying over, and it's Eduk on pole position by almost or just over 0.8 of a second. Wow, that was a really quick lap.
Yeah, that is an absolutely dominant pole position, but you have to look, the strategy, I'm surprised how many people bailed and ended up going on the softs. Out of the group now, you have to think, Eduk, you don't know how to call it because the softs, they're just that bad. Who's in a better spot right now for you, Eduk or Ryan B? Because with that lap time Ryan B got on the mediums, you have to think he's in a really good spot at the moment. Obviously, if a safety car comes out lap 1, which is quite common, it'll be interesting to see whether Ryan decides to go into the pits or if he stays out and hopes for another one. But at the moment, Eduk, you can't take it away from him. It doesn't matter that he did it on the softs. That is still a very impressive lap in Division 4.
I think there's going to be a few people calling for possibly a promotion for Eduk, especially if we're racing at Singapore, which we are tonight. But yeah, Eduk P1 for tonight and to start this race. Major Falcon P2, Iverburn Mike P3, a decent lap there for the McLaren driver. Ryan B P4, as we mentioned, Alt Maverick P5, Storm UK P6, Slayer P7, Cam K is going to be P8. P9 is going to be Connor, Giant Bravery in P10, rounding out the top 10. The only 3 drivers inside the top 10 on the mediums, those being Ryan B P4, Cam K P8, and actually, yeah, Giant Bravery in P10. Ariel Jordan, P11. He will be the first driver to get free tire choice, and I'm sure he's either going to be going on the mediums or the hards. No one wants to really touch those soft tires. Poldy Poles in P12, Marty in P13, Bag of Bones in P14. TRT James, McDutchface, and MCR will round out the grid. MCR not setting a time, and Ariel Passe was disqualified early on in the session. Unfortunate there for him. But yeah, I think that's going to be the order. And Eduk is going to be starting on the soft tires. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to be doing later on here tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what a lot of people do now with the strategy. Obviously, if a safety car comes out as well, it's back and forth as to what you can do. There's so many different combinations that can lead to a win with this track. I think I remember Division 2 last year, literally half the grid at one point was in a position to win the race. It was crazy. And I think there's so many tight parts of this track, with the soft runners on lap 1 that are going to be causing a bit of mayhem with medium runners ahead. But very quickly, the mediums are faster, and you're going to see the soft drivers probably slowly dropping back. And as pointed out by Aidan Carter earlier on, if you pit early on the softs, there's still a point where the mediums, even if you come out on fresh hards, the mediums are still going to be faster for a while. So you're not actually gaining much. So it's going to be really interesting. I'd like to pretend I was smart enough to think of that, but that was completely Aidan's idea. I had no idea because I was planning on going on the softs myself.
Yeah, I considered going on the softs maybe, but let's see what the drivers have actually decided for out on the track. Obviously, the drivers inside the top 10 are forced to start on what they qualified on, but outside the top 10, not really too surprised. Jordan, Poles, Marty, all on the mediums, Bag of Bones on the hards, TRT James, and McDutchface on the mediums, and MCR and Passe on the hards. Passe saying that his wheel disconnected, and that's why he was disqualified from qualifying because he was unable to move. But yeah, we do have a little bit of a weather report going into this race as well. It's going to start dry, and then about 30 minutes in, we're going to see a little bit of light rain, and then at 45 minutes, we may see it should be dry again. So it's going to be an interesting race. So it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers end up going for, because 30 minutes, that's what can you say, really, like 16, 17, maybe 18 laps in, so around just over halfway. So maybe the drivers start on the hard tires. It might just have made the right decision here.
Yeah, that could be a really good strategy. This all depends on how heavy that rain is, and I feel like we're just saying the same thing as we were saying last time. I remember we were waiting for the rain to come and we had no idea how heavy it would be. And we're waiting for that again. But from what I'm hearing, it's a bit debatable whether or not we're going to go onto the inter tyres. So these hards, it could still work either way, but if the rain doesn't fall as heavy as they're hoping, they've kind of bottlenecked themselves there, because they could have pitted earlier for the mediums.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be who makes the right decision here, the same as Spain. It's whoever makes the right decision at the right time and gets absolutely lucky. Like, you can't always make the right decision based on complete merit. You have to get lucky a little bit in league racing, and Larkin definitely was a beneficiary of that last season in Division 2. I have nightmares of that race. But anyways, yeah, Edok is going to be leading us away as Poles and Marty decided to hit each other on the formation lap, which is never a good idea. But yeah, Edok and Aston Martin is going to be leading us away. Currently, Edok, I think he raced last week in Britain, scored 10 points as a reserve in Britain. So already showing that possibly maybe a promotion up to Division 3. He had a good race in Britain. I know he likes Britain, and obviously he likes Singapore as well. He was on pole position by 9/10 of a second, and he's going to be leading us away here for round number 5 of Season 6 for League of Europe. For Division number 4, just waiting for Passe to get into his grid slot just there in P number 18, and we can get this race underway. Just waiting for the Alfa Romeo. I think he's settled just now, waiting for the lights now. Under the lights here at the Marina Bay Street Circuits, round number 5 of Division 4. Lights out, and away we go. Let's see what type of starts these drivers have gotten. Major Falcon's actually had an amazing start. As we head down into turn 1, the Alpine's going to be up the inside of the Aston Martin. They go side by side in turn 1, and Major Falcon has gotten that position off the line. And Ryan B's had a very good start as well. He's up 1 place on the medium compounded tires. Camke's up to P4. I think we might have had maybe someone spinning. I'm not entirely sure. I think everyone's... Ooh. There's a lot of carbon fiber there. As you mentioned, TRT James has a completely broken front wing as he goes down towards last place from around P12 to P13, but no safety car as of yet. Iverbrun Mike has completely dropped down the order. Maybe a little bit of damage, but he's really, really struggling on those soft compound tires. He's down from P3 to P8, and All Maverick has just overtaken him, who started in P4 or P5 as well. KMK and Ryan B have had amazing starts on the medium tires. They're up to P3 and P4, and now trying to follow each other, because now it's going to be Eduk and Major Falcon leading away up at the front of the field. But Ryan B and KMK, they're in a really, really good position here now.
Yeah, and at the back of the field, it was like bumper cars into turn 1, 2 and 3 there. That was absolutely crazy. There was 4 cars wide outside of turn 1. Both Williams made contact about 50 times. I don't know how many drivers have small damage, but it has to be a few, because they were just kind of bouncing off each other.
Yeah, absolutely. You can always have an incident there at 1, 2, and 3. It really tightens up, especially once you get down towards turn 3, and is with that short run down in turn 1, jostling for position, especially on lap 1. It's going to be very difficult for drivers to make their way out of that first complex without damage. But the top 3, top 4 have all done it with no particular dramas quite yet. Ryan B sliding a little bit, and the soft runners are starting to get away. But Major Falcon with that amazing start, already going defensive here in lap number 1, going down in towards turn 1. But yeah, Major Falcon with a really good start. Eduk just didn't really move off the line. He was able to get in front of those medium runners and stay in front of them. But Major Falcon had an amazing start there off the line.
Yeah, it was really, really good start, and I've struggled to do that this game. I've really struggled with starts, and I'm envious of the people that can do that. You're looking at the side, maybe with the soft tyres, but obviously there's a few other people on the softs Kamke is currently... Wait, where's the... Let's wait for it to catch back up now. I know Kamke had a good start. He avoided the carnage completely on the mediums. There was like a parting of the ways, and he just went through about 3 cars, and he's up into P4. He's gained 4 positions on the medium tyres. Him and Ryan look like they're in a great spot right now, as we're going to start to see now Major Falcon and Eduk drop off on the pace, and it's how long can they stay out for before they have to pit.
Yeah, as of right now, Ryan B doesn't even really have to push because those mediums are going to be faster no matter what, especially as we get into the later half of lap number 2 as James has had another spin heading through turn 3 coming out of the pit lane. But yeah, Ryan B doesn't even really have to push here. Those soft tires are going to die eventually, and he's going to be able to close up to the back of these guys eventually. They're either going to decide on what strategy they're going to be going on to, either the 2-stop soft medium medium or possibly 1-stop soft hard. It's going to be interesting to see what those 2 drivers up at the front do, as well as the other 4 drivers on the soft compound tires, including Storm, All Maverick, Ivory, Mike, and Connor, all on those soft tires. But some other good starts for medium runners. Kamke almost going into the wall there, as DRS will be enabled on this next lap. Eduk fastest lap of the race. Ryan B fastest lap of the race, 39.8. So these guys are doing pretty well for themselves as of right now. Storm seemingly struggling a little bit, but you can really put that down to tires. As Slayer really trying to get onto the back of Storm. He needs to make this overtake almost immediately if he wants to get up to the back of the rest of his fellow runners on those mediums.
Yeah, and I think it's the hard runners at the back as well. They're going to be a bit upset that there wasn't a safety car at the start of the race. I think they would have been banking on that a bit, and you can really see that they are just dropping back. As Passe is going to go for a move actually, an MCR. He's got full DRS and ERS, and it's as simple as that really. He's put it up the inside, he's stayed ahead, and they don't really have the time to be fighting each other though. He wants to hope that they can just keep this civil, as that's giant bravery that's just gone around on the mediums. But the hards, you can just see just how much slower they are, and they're really playing the long game with this. They need a bit of help and a bit of luck really to get something out of this race.
Yeah, we mentioned the soft tires that they're going to die quite quickly, but the medium tires, they don't go that much longer either. The medium tires will go around lap 8 before they really start to die off. You're going to be pitting, if you're on the medium hard strategy, you're going to be pitting around lap 10, 11, 12 maybe, and those hard tires are not a lot faster, but they are still quite a bit faster once you get to lap like 15 and you've already done two laps on them compared to the other drivers on the hard. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys are going to be doing. But yeah, Major Falcon, Eduk still staying out here as we go on to lap number 4. The 2 soft runners doing quite well for themselves as of right now. Ryan B is within DRS range. Major Falcon continually going over to the left side, defending absolute clean air. As Ivory Mike, the first driver to pick up a 3-second time penalty there through the final corner. Unfortunate there for him. But yeah, Ryan B, Kamke just following along, and that's, you know, they know that's all they have to do. They don't even really have to go for moves, waste their ERS, but you can see Major Falcon in terms of ERS using it down the straight down towards turn 7 as they head through turn 6. Ooh, Eduk getting really slidey. He's gonna go for a move. No, he's not. They're in the Memorial corner. But yeah, Major Falcon starting to struggle, and he only has 40% ERS compared to Eduk's 57 as we head through turn 8. So yeah, these guys struggling, and now they're starting to battle. So now it's really gonna hold everyone up, and this is actually perfect for Slayer. He's 2.2 seconds back, looking to close them down.
Yeah, and we were saying how Ryan and Kamke can just sit behind them. There's a point when they can't, because they have to take advantage of this gap, because they have to go into the hards as well. And Major Falcon and Eduk, they're going to pit, they're going to come out on the hards, get them warmed up, and be able to close the gap once the mediums come in about 4 or 5 laps time.
Yeah.
To be honest, they want to be getting fast. They want to be getting past, like, as soon as he almost went into the back of Eduk there, bloody hell. And this is the problem now. It's so hard to overtake that the longer they're stuck behind, this is better for these 2 soft runners because it kind of puts them on an equal playing field.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I would expect Major Falcon and Eduk possibly in on this lap. Those soft tires are really starting to die. They had the gap over a second as we headed on to lap number 2 from lap number 1. But yeah, Ryan B, you can see how much they're struggling. Eduk, Major Falcon and Eduk both not heading into the pit lane. Ryan B really cautious through the penultimate corner there at turn 22. As Kamke just staying a little bit further back from these guys. As Ivory Mike has actually had a spin, or no. No, he's heading into the pit lane. Storm is the one who's had a spin. Now there's a safety car, and this is perfect for Ivory Mike.
This is perfect.
Oh, but Ivory's on mediums
as well. Why?
He's going on mediums.
Why?
There was no need.
Maybe he's banking. Maybe he's banking on the rain.
Maybe. but I don't think it'll get to inters.
This is great for the soft runners that they stayed out, and I think staying out was the right decision anyway, because as long as they can stay ahead, they don't need to pit until the medium runners get past. So now at this point, this is going to be interesting to see. I feel like most people are going to see diving for the hards, because the mediums aren't going to make it to this rain patch anyway. Depending on how long this safety car stays out, I think we're pretty much going to see the whole field on hards here, and this could really see a benefit for Passe, MCR, and Bag and Bones. This could be a master play for them guys, because the safety cars come out at a perfect time for them.
Yeah, everyone, well, you would imagine everyone would head into the pit lane. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. They're obviously going to have clean air. Passe is going to be the leader of those hard runners, unless he decides to come into the pit lane for whatever reason. But yeah, Major Falcon, he's going to be the guy leading them towards the end of this lap. But if we really look at this, Major Falcon, E-Dog, Ryan B, Cam K, and then you have a pretty close gap to Slayer, and then Alt Maverick, who is able to follow him. So, Slayer and Alt Maverick were able to close this gap to the top two. So obviously Slayer's going to be quick. Major Falcon and Eduk not so quick on those soft tires, but it's going to be a completely different story once we get done with the safety car period. Let's see what's going to happen. Major Falcon should be in, and is in. Eduk passes him into the pit lane, which is completely...
This is bad for a driver like Jordan. He's going to get double stacked, I think, here. Oh, oof. That's why Ryan almost got flying to the back of Falcon there. And are people staying out?
Yeah, a few people are staying out. Some of the medium runners. I'm surprised both Red Bulls stay out. I thought they would have split strategy. But yeah, let's see how this all pans out. I think Major Falcon, I would imagine, is going to come out first. And then it's going to be the Mercedes of Ryan B. Where is Eduk? Eduk is behind Alt Maverick and Ryan B. and Major Falcon, even though he was ahead... He was in front of all of them when he headed into the pit lane. And
unless he had slight wing damage and forgot to change it.
Maybe. But yeah, Major Falcon, Ryan B, both onto the hard compounded tires.
Wait, is TRT James on soft?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, James is...
You got to feel for Giant Bravery here, because a lap earlier he pitted to put the hards on.
Yeah.
If he had just stayed out an extra lap...
He did have that little spin though, so I guess it doesn't really matter in the end. But yeah, I'm sure it would have been nice for him to be a little bit closer. But we aren't going to get underway until James gets back up to the safety car. So now let's take a quick look at the strategy. Cam K, Slayer, McDutchface, Poldy Pulls, the top four, all stayed out on the medium compounded tires. Those are the tires that they did indeed start on. Yeah, Passe has followed his teammate in doing so and stayed out on the hard, as well as MCR, Bagabones, and not Major Falcon. The three previous Passe, MCR, Bagabones have all stayed out on the hard tires, and then Major Falcon and Ryan B have pitted and gone onto the hard tires, which indeed can go to the end. They can confirm to go to the end of the race. Alt Maverick is in P10, followed by Iverburn Mike, followed by Eduk, followed by Connor. All in the mediums, and then Jordan has put it onto the hards as well, and actually has lost quite a few places just because of being held up behind his teammate. Marty in P15 has stayed out on mediums, even though he made a pit stop a little bit earlier on in this race. Giant Bravery, as I mentioned, pitted only a lap ago for those hard tires, as James has picked up a 3-second penalty for cutting turn 9, or extending turn 9, or doing something at turn 9. But yeah, that's a little bit of a blunder from him. It's under safety car. You really shouldn't be getting warnings. But yeah, he's on the softs, and it seems that this night isn't exactly going to plan for him. But now Cam K is going to be the leader of this race. And Cam K, he's shown pace in most of the races here in Season 4. He should have had a good shot at winning in USA. He had a pretty decent result. I believe he picked up a second place in Britain. Not entirely sure what he did in Spain, but I don't think he was too much of a factor. Neither was he in Bahrain, but he's shown the pace and he can be competitive so far. But making the alternate decision to stay out on those medium tires could be a little bit of a race changer for him.
Yeah, I'm quite confused. Maybe they think the rain's coming earlier than it is, but it just seemed like a no-brainer to dive in for the hards there. And I don't understand, like, even the people that have put the mediums on later on, like, do they know something we don't? Because it just seems like such an obvious move to go for the hards, and if the rain comes, you switch, and if it doesn't come, you make it to the end. Like, it seems quite like a no-brainer there. But one thing I'm really confused at is why James hasn't pitted again and put a different set of tyres on. And he's just taking his wing off as well.
Let's take a quick look. No visible damage as of right now. Ooh, slidey.
But we'll just like maybe this is an absolute masterstroke. Maybe we'll look at this at the end and go, James was a genius. But
Yeah.
we'll have a look at some other people that have done a bit better. Jordan, he's a bit further down the field. He's put on the hards. I'm surprised. I think he was in a really good spot actually. And then I think he had to stay out because he would have double stacked. Or maybe he did double stack, it cost him time. Is the safety car's going to come in at the end of this lap? Everyone's bunched back up now. And looking at how the field is now, what are your predictions when we start off? Who are you thinking is going to take advantage the most of this?
It's difficult to say, as always. Cam K, Slayer, McDutchface, and Poldy Poles, I think they're going to have some pretty decent restarts, but Passe, MCR, Bagbones, all the drivers really now on the hards, especially the fresh hards, they're going to be able to keep up a little bit easier. But the medium drivers behind him could have pulled off an absolute masterstroke because Sir Ibba Paul on chat saying that the rain on the formation lap, the rain was supposed to be here in 10 to 15 minutes, and I think we passed 10 minutes already, so that's going to be interesting to see. But Cam K is going to be leading us through the penultimate corner. Let's see when he goes, and I think he just went and spun.
What the? I can't
And now
believe
Poldy
it.
Poles is going to be into the lead. I think he made an overtake before we got to the start finish line, but he's going to be into the lead of this race. Passe, ooh, he's dived McDutchface and has spun there at turn 1. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be way down the order now, especially on those old hards. That's a little bit ambitious for him, but Slayer and Poldy Bull still going at it as we head down onto Raffles Boulevard. Slayer going a little bit wide. Maybe those tires aren't exactly warmed up to where he would have liked them, and going very wide and then sliding through turn 5. Major Falcon MCR trying to find their way through. Vagabonds and Ryan B are a little bit close together. All Maverick trying to dive Ryan B, the 2 championship contenders, the 2 championship leaders. All Maverick unable to pull that move off on Ryan B as heading into Memorial Corner, but Ryan B Educ and Jordan and Marty all getting into a little bit of a tangle. Ooh, Marty almost into the back of Jordan. Yeah, Jordan's gotten that switchback really nicely on Educ. Educ's down to P11. Jordan's up to P10. And Jordan on those hard tires, making them work really well. Yeah, that damage, it's quite obvious as we headed into Singapore Sling, just letting all the drivers through. I think that's smart for him. But Poldy Pole, Slayer, McDutchface all up at the front of the race. They have a second gap in between all 3 of them, and Major Falcon 8/10 of a second back. Those medium tires are not going to be too great, but Major Falcon and MCR are going to start to close them down, I would imagine.
Yeah, Major Falcon, really important for him that he got past them 2 hard runners. I know it's the hards, like, they don't really lose much pace, but they still are older tyres. He's at the moment, bar any other safety cars, we know the rain's coming, of course. If the rain stays light, he's in the best position right now. I think, interestingly, I think was Slayer ahead of Pole before this restart? Because I think
Poldy Poles was the last of the drivers who stayed on the mediums.
Yeah, I think he could be seeing some Stewards reports here.
Ooh, Ryan B, Alt Maverick, and Bag of Bones, as well as Ivorbird Mike, all trying to get in on this one. Alt Maverick up the inside of Ryan B into turn 1. Alt Maverick, a little bit of contact between the 2 drivers, the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Ryan B gives him room though into turn 3. Alt Maverick, ooh, a little bit of contact, wheel to wheel. I don't think he has to. Ryan B was ahead for for almost all of it. Educ has retired in the pit lane after getting that damage, but now we're gonna have the ERS battle between Ryan B and Alt Maverick. Alt Maverick is using his ERS down towards turn 7. Ryan B will go defensive, going down towards turn 7. Alt Maverick's on the outside. He sweeps around the outside. They're on equal tires, but the medium tires are going to have a little bit more grip into turn 8. He's up the inside as Alt Maverick. Ryan B tries it all the way around the outside. Alt Maverick, to be fair, gives him the space, but now Ryan B is going to be up ahead, and now they're losing so much time. Ryan B and Alt Maverick, that's amazing battling, and we also have to mention Ryan B made an overtake going through the penultimate corner on Bag of Bones, which led to them being 3 wide on the pit straight, and that's what led to this. Alt Maverick a little bit of a slide as we head under the bridge now into turn 13, and Ryan B, fantastic defending there from Alt Maverick. Alt Maverick, though, on the next lap, he's going to have DRS, so Ryan B is going to have to get on his horse if he wants to be able to defend from Alt Maverick with DRS and ERS. He has to get up to the back of MCR as quick as possible if he doesn't want that Ferrari blitzing past him on that next lap.
Yeah, and Ryan B's shown he's got the pace there. He's on the harder tyres. We know how bad they are, especially on the restart. They will be as cold as ice. And we saw in qualifying his pace was really good. For the sake of the race, I sound like such a hypocrite, especially Larkins in the party. He's going to be saying, well, why don't you do this ever? Letting Maverick pass is easily the best option right now.
I agree.
Needs to let him go. and just chase after him.
Yeah, that could be the smart decision really here for Ryan B. But Ryan B has almost gotten up to the back of Marty. He's going to have to use a little bit of ERS unless he's just able to close through turns 1, 2, and 3. I think he's actually going to be within DRS range, but Connor and Jordan going side by side. I think Connor just made that overtake. I'm not entirely sure, unless Jordan was behind. But Ryan B is actually within the DRS range of MCR. MCR is really struggling on those old hard tires. Where are the drivers that stayed out on the hards? MCR in P5, he's had the best restart out of all three of those drivers. Vagabonds in P9, and then Passy, who had that spin. Ooh, TRT James has just retired going into the pit lane.
This has been a race to forget for James, and Falcon's going really wide there. Yeah, this has been a race not to remember, I think, for James. He's made a few bad calls. Is this going to transition into a safety car? Is Slump's going to go on the outside? No way, this cannot work!
Oh, Vagabonds!
And Vagabonds is round! And Slump should... Why has he gone for that? He's made it too wide. You don't...
Marty, Jordan, and Cam K will going side by side. Ooh, Marty, a little bit of contact with Cam K. Marty tried to move on Jordan through that little bit of a section. Now he's dropped 2 places as well to Giant Bravery and to Cam K. Possibly looking for moves. He dives it up the inside into turn 14. That's a little bit ambitious, especially on those hard tires, on those old hard tires. And Marty's able to defend it for the time being, trying to just stick in behind Giant Bravery. Cam K, though, is not going to be the one following Ariel Jordan. I was a little bit confused when I saw drivers going side by side through the middle sector. And Alt Maverick has made his way past Ryan B. Ryan B with a big slide. Iverbrand Mike is going to be past him now. Connor, not quite close enough to take advantage of that one, but now Alt Maverick, as we head through the final corner, on to lap number 11 for these drivers. Alt Maverick uses ZRS, which is a little bit questionable in my opinion, as Ariel Passe picks up a 3-second time penalty as Marty is into the pit lane. But All Maverick is up into P5 now, but MCR is going to have the DRS. Iverbrand Mike is being close in tow. Ryan B is going to be trying to follow all these guys as well. But All Maverick using his ERS there, I think that was a little bit questionable because in Singapore, especially in clear, it's very difficult to save up ERS as McDutchface.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, the two Red Bulls have swapped places there. McDutchface now up into P2. They're on equal tire wear, so they're on the same exact strategy. But yeah, McDutchface seems McDutchface was faster now, and Slayer, you can already see, has dropped out back to 0.8 of a second. Maybe possibly has damage, maybe hit the wall somewhere, but nothing visible as of right now. But yeah, Alt Maverick already leaving these guys in the absolute dust. So yeah, Ryan B, I think it would have been a better decision just to let Alt Maverick go. You can already see how fast Alt Maverick is. He would have caught MCR past him, and Ryan B would have been right there with him.
Yeah, and I think these medium runners at the front now, they're going to be praying for this rain to come because their medium tyres are going to be dropping off real quick. And Falcon, at the moment, is in a really good spot. If he can just let Maverick go, when Maverick catches up, I think he's going for a move on Slayer actually. He's like pushed him around the track. He's on the hards. Maverick's on fresher mediums than the guys ahead. He's going to... No, he's not going to... Oh, I thought he was going to go for it down into the tunnel. It looks like he's going to get past him soon enough. Slayer's really holding him up. What has happened to his pace? I think he's going to have to come in on the mediums. He can't stay out. It's going to cost him so much time. The rain... I know it's harder to tell at night. Did I just see a little spit?
Oh, yep, it's starting to rain now.
It's starting to rain.
Oh, and I think we've had a little bit of a spin, but some kind. But yeah, Major Falcon up the inside. Ooh, Slayer just gives it to him. Alt Maverick trying to follow him through, but unable to. Iverbrand Mike makes his way past MCR into turn number 1. Slayer,
he's going to go. No, he's going to back off. He's probably going to get him on this DRS straight here. And this is really interesting, especially for someone like Maverick. This has paid off beautifully for him. How heavy will this rain be? Because it's not meant to last till the end of the race. It is meant to stop, which throws a huge spanner in the works. And it's going to be hard for these
Slayer a little bit deep.
hard runners as well. Especially the ones that stayed out in the first place. Timing is going to be key here, especially for these Red Bull drivers as well, where obviously Slayer's dropped back.
Ooh, Alt Maverick with a beautiful switchback. Almost into the wall as well.
The rain's coming down fast.
Yeah, it is coming down quite hard as of right now, but that's going to give an advantage to everybody on the fresher tires. Ooh, yeah, it's really, really wet through this middle sector here under the tunnel.
What the...
As has to spun, that's Bag of Bones. Marty and some kind of the back of the field on fresh hards are battling. Poldy pulls up in the lead of the race, 3.6 seconds, just completely locked both fronts. Yeah, it's McDutchface, he's out.
No way.
He's gone straight on and into the barrier there. Major Falcon has drifted right past the scene of the accident. We have a safety car, and now it's intermediates. Like it is inters. I think
it was dry last lap.
It was completely dry last lap. Alt Maverick came through the final corner. It started raining, and now as they head through just halfway through the final sector, as Vagabonds and some kind of both gotten drive-through penalties. Alt Maverick just heading through under the grandstand now here on lap 12. It's already enters. DRS has been disabled. Polypoles is in. That's a smart decision from him. Major Falcon and Alt Maverick, Ryan B, all these drivers are going to be into the pit lane. But, oh, so unfortunate there for McDutchface. Just at turn 14, misjudged the braking because, I mean, I probably would. Yeah, Polypoles with the speeding into the pit lane pen.
And you have to think as well with the safety car restart, his first place isn't actually first place. I think that's going to be changed. So at the moment,
Polypole's getting a wing change as well.
And Maverick are going to be going for this win as the inches come out. Obviously, we don't know whether it's going to stay inches. That was crazy how fast the rain came.
The two McLarens have also hit each other, by the way. Iverwood Mike getting a 5-second penalty for hitting Cam K.
This has been crazy.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Alfa Romeo having two wing changes in the space of a few seconds here. Ariel Passe also getting his wing change, as well as Polypoles, who's up at the front of the race. But yeah, it's going to be Polypoles, followed by Major Falcon, followed by Alt Maverick, followed by Ryan B. So 3 of the top championship contenders in the top 4 here for when this race will get restarted. MCR in 5th, Cam K in 6th, Jordan in P7, Passe just coming out of the pit lane in 8th, Giant Bravery P9, Slayer P10, and remember, Slayer was where Alt Maverick was, wasn't he?
Oh, Slayer dropped. His pace just on those mediums when he was right behind his teammate because they switched positions like 2 laps before the safety car came out.
Yeah.
This has just been I can't believe the rain came. Like, it was dry and then it was into the next lap.
Yeah, it's definitely.
How does that happen?
I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be.
I've had it up to my neck with this. We commentate on leagues week in and week out. We're waiting for a patch. We've got big numbers, big viewers. It's absolutely diabolical. They should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Some of the glitches in this game are a little bit questionable. I will say. But yeah, we're now on to lap number 13. We're gonna have to wait for SlimpCon for Marty and for Backbones also get up to the safety car. But yeah, let's actually just take a quick look at the positions gained. Polypoles is up 11 places. Major Falcon is where he started. Alt Maverick is up 2. Ryan B is where he started. MCR is up 12 places in this race. Cam K is up 2, but it has a penalty. Jordan is up 4 with a penalty. Passe is up 10 with a penalty. Giant Bravery up 1 with a penalty. Slayer down 3. Ivory Mike down 8. SlimpCon down 3. Marty is where he started as well as Vagabonds. So, yeah, the 2 Aston Martins are out of this race. They were the first 2 retirees. TRT James is also out, and McDutchface is the one who caused the safety car. He's out as well. But, yeah.
This is a big moment for Maverick and Ryan. A big race. Is Maverick... Wait, Pole's going in.
The Falcon's in. Why is Falcon... Is he bidding for full wet? No way.
This could be...
Oh, he's bidding for a wing change. Alright.
Oh, okay. Well, when did that happen? It was so he's just thrown that out. So now it is between, because obviously with what's happened with Pole's pen and the safety car restart, the 2 championship contenders at the moment are going to be starting technically first and second. Obviously they need to get past Pole. He's still in first on track. This shows now how their mindset is going for a championship. Did they want a race or did they want the championship? Because Ryan's got a 10-point lead. They're around Singapore in the rain. If Ryan wins this over Maverick, that is massive for the championship. Maverick, same for him, he needs the points. This will really show how people deal with not just a race, but how they're going to deal with a title fight as well.
Yeah, it's the pressure, really. Because as of right now, the pressure's all on Alt Maverick. Ryan B right now has a second place pretty much solidified if he just keeps it in this position. And we still have over half the race left to go. We're on lap 14 now. It's 15 and a half laps in is halfway. But yeah, we're on lap 14 right now. So we still have half of this race to go. And it's supposed to get dry again at the end of this race. So it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe the entire safety car period just dries up. The rain will go away. But I'm not entirely sure. It still looks like the rain is coming down quite hard. And you could just see riding on board with Ryan B. This car is completely covered in spray. Ooh, almost running in the back of Alt Maverick there. But yeah. Yeah,
I know in this game it's going to be dry next lap.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Kamke almost put it in the wall as well. They're really struggling, even in the formation lap, just to get some heat into the tyres. Like, whenever they're weaving, the cars are sliding.
Yeah.
I think the mayhem isn't over, and it would not surprise me if we see that Aston Martin safety car come out a few more times.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but now safety car will be in on this lap. Major Falcon has just closed up to the back of the field after getting a wing change. But Polly Poles is going to be leading us away. 5-second penalty. If he just didn't speed into the pit lane, that really could have helped him in the championship. Currently 15th with 10 points, scoring all 10
Mike,
points.
Calm down.
Yeah, Mike, getting 2 5-second penalties for contact. One with Slimcon and one with Kamke. But yeah, Polly Poles, he could really help himself out in the championship without that 5-second penalty. He could give himself 25 more points, but as of right now, he is, I'm not entirely sure where, but he's leading this race out on track, trying to get this race going. Went up to third gear, just had massive wheel spin. All Maverick trying to follow him, but Polly Poles has had a really good restart as we head on to lap number 15. Ryan B trying to follow as well as MCR. Kamke is up the inside of the Alpine, heading into turn 1. I think MCR is just going to give him that place. MCR not really fighting it too hard. There's still a lot of racing left to be done here in Singapore. Giant Bravery following past it really closely as Iverbryn Mike is out of the race. Why is Mike out? He's crashed at turn 3. No safety car as of yet.
Marty's in the pits.
Marty's getting a front wing change. Polly Poles has had an absolute amazing jump. Ryan B trying to follow. Kamke, after making the move on MCR into turn 1, is not quite close enough.
Bag and Bones is going to go on the inside. And it's just letting pass. Bag and Bones don't even want to fight it. And Falcon, if we looked at his pace, he's probably going to find his way through the field quite quickly now. In a track like this, he has to be very careful because this isn't normal conditions where he can just overtake people.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that one. Ooh, kind of really wide there through turn 9. Major Falcon unable to carry the momentum through, though, unfortunately for him. He wasn't able to carry the momentum and wasn't able to get that move down headed. Ooh, Slip got really wide, almost into the wall there. Rejoins the track just in front of Bag of Bones. Bag of Bones really wide as well. Just through this middle sector, but now Major Falcon has to get through the train of Slayer, of Giant Bravery, Passage, Jordan, MCR, Kamke, Ryan B, Alt Maverick, and Polly Poles, who started and come back to these guys. He's really wide there through turn 14. He's losing quite a bit of time. Maybe he's lost a little bit of a front wing or something. Because Alt Maverick, that gap has gone down from like 1.2, 1.3 seconds to 0.7 of a second. Alt Maverick is right on the back of him and now right in the midst of the spray. But MCR is a driver who is really struggling. Kamke was lucky to get that move done as early as he did because now the gap to MCR is 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm looking at this. It would not surprise me, honestly, if Jordan gets a podium this race. Jordan has showed, he did it at Spain as well, remember. He is so good at getting points out of nothing. He's kind of like the Rocco of D4. Where he just kind of plays his cards safe and picks up the points. Polly Poles with his penalty and obviously with what the stewards might say, we've got Maverick and Ryan who you'd probably predict to have the top 2. Kamke is so unpredictable with a penalty. MCR is really struggling. I could honestly see Jordan getting a podium this race.
Yeah, 2 more drivers are into the pit lane, Slimcon and Bag of Bones. That would explain why Slimcon was struggling, and that's what would explain why Bag of Bones was all the way down at the back of the field, really struggling on his tires. 13 drivers left in this race. We did.
Ahead of them. It's going to be tight to get the points. This is the final points position. Obviously, one person's going to be outside the points if it stays like this, and at the moment it's Bag and Bones.
Ooh,
13 drivers, top 12.
Marty almost in the back of Slimcon.
He's going to go for it?
No way. I think you would get it done down Raffles Boulevard.
Someone's gone
deep. Yeah, I think that's P12 for him pretty solidified. Marty's going to be on a little bit of a charge now. I would imagine trying to get up to the back of these guys, and just in case it does go dry again, he's going to have to get that strategy perfect. If he wants to close back up, maybe a safety car could aid him, but it's still Polly Poles leading from Alt Maverick, from Ryan B, Kamke, MCR, Jordan, Passage, Giant Bravery, Slayer, Major Falcon, Marty, some kind of Bag of Bones, those final 3. 27.5 seconds off the back of the rest of the train. But, yeah, Alt Maverick isn't making too many inroads into Polly Poles after closing down the 1 second gap down to 0.8 of a second. Ryan B, 0.7. Kamke really close to the back of Ryan B. He's been following very closely since that safety car restart. MCR has been really struggling. Jordan and Pathé really close. They just can't really do anything in terms of overtaking. Giant Bravery, P8 following. Slayer just sticking on the back of these guys, as well as Major Falcon, who's unable to make his way through the field. I'm sure he has the pace, but just can't quite show it yet. But Alt Maverick seems to be in a little bit of a position to possibly make an overtake on this next lap.
Yeah, he does it. It looks like he could finally get past, and then you think he really would start to break free as Martin picks up another penalty. And look at this group behind. Passe seems like the faster ones out the lot. If he can get past, obviously it's nice to see. You don't want to see, just because obviously Jordan and Passe, they're in the same racing team, but they're not in the same team in the game. You don't want to see people helping each other out, which we're not seeing. That's good to see. But I think if Passe could get past Jordan, he seems like the much faster driver at the moment. He seems really confident in the rain for some reason. And he's done really well to recover his race from, if you remember, his wheel disconnected in qualifying. He was starting stone cold last. It's going to be an interesting battle for this podium spot, or 4th place maybe, if Cam K can stick to the back of these guys.
Yeah, these guys are really starting to not necessarily pull away, but MCR isn't exactly doing the rest of the guys behind him a favor. 1.9 seconds is the gap between him and Kamke. Kamke with that 3-second time penalty, currently losing out to MCR and Jordan. But I don't think he's losing out to Passe and Giant Bravery. Honestly, both of them have 3-second penalties, and Slayer and Major Falcon not quite close enough. So dropping down to P6 currently is Kamke, but let's see how that will play out for the rest of the time. Ooh, Ryan B getting really, really close to Alt Maverick through turn 14, but just unable to make that overtake. He used a little bit of overtake, so did Alt Maverick to defend, but not quite close enough to make to get the move done. MCR still struggling, but Jordan, Passe all trying to follow him. Giant Bravery is getting right on the back of Passe. Like, he could not really get any closer if he even wanted to. Ooh, Passe almost into the back of Jordan there as we head under the grandstands on lap number 17. Now struggling with a little bit of understeer as he heads through the final chicane. But yeah, it's really, really difficult to see who's going to come out on top in this one.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I'm looking at Cam K's penalty. I actually think that he got the penalty for the collision with Mike. So there's a chance that gets taken off him if they don't have to serve it. The sad truth is, though, if the rain stops like it's scheduled to, he's going to have to serve that 5-second penalty, as is Podipos. So that could just see them get out of the way naturally for them anyway, which will then give Maverick and Ryan B just the freedom to race. And I think what we all want to see at the moment is Ryan B and Maverick just race each other, which at the moment they're struggling to do because they just kind of have to abide by the train's rules. And MCR's creating a little train of his own. We've got a lot of drivers stacking up, and everyone just seems to be pushing each other through the track. You can't get a taste of who's fast and who's not until someone gets past MCR, and we can really see what they can do. Because if this 5-second penalty doesn't go from Cam K, overtaking MCR is basically a double overtake for Jordan, because it puts him in the window of Cam K's penalty as well.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see what these guys are going to be able to do. Cam K unable to make a move, Alt Maverick unable to make a move, Ryan B unable to make a move out there on track. But it seems everyone gets super, super close and Constantine it up through the final sector, but then they just spread out. They spread out just enough that no one can make an overtake into the first corner or through that first sector. Jordan all over that inside curb at turn 14. Slayer Giant Bravery getting really close to the back of Passe once again heading into turn 14, but just not quite close enough. Like, it gets close every lap, especially down in towards turn 14 after that little bit of a straight, almost into the back of Passe goes Giant Bravery. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. You can see how close they get through the final sector. All Mavericks struggling a little bit, though, through these final few corners. That gap opened up to 0.8 of a second. But Giant Bravery, or Passe, with a little bit of a slide there on the exit of turn 21. But now Giant Bravery has an opportunity to make the best of it. We have a yellow flag for one of the Williams. I think that's some kind. He's going to be out of the race. But now Giant Bravery making the move on Ariel Passe into turn 1. It's going to be side by side between the Williams and the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo will have to back out of it, though, and he's going to go past him through turn 3. Giant Bravery is ghosting,
have to give that back.
And Passe gives that position back.
Use the track to stay ahead. He's actually lost the position to Slayer with doing that as well. Has he, or has he managed to stay on the outside? Yeah, I think he's got 100% ERS though, actually, so
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. They're side by side now. And who's got the bigger testes? And Passe goes late and he stays ahead. Yeah, but I think he used the track just to keep the overtake there, which is why he had to give the position back, and Slayer almost took advantage. And now Falcon's trying to take advantage as well. I feel like I'm in a field of Alonso's here.
Yeah, all going side by side through places that you really shouldn't be necessarily. But Major Falcon tried to get that move done with Slayer being backed up because of Passe. Ooh, Slayer really wide there into turn 10. Major Falcon unable to take advantage of it though. But Passe is going to be in P8. Now Giant Bravery is the first driver in this train, or since it's begun to train up, is the first driver to make a real overtake work. And that was into turn 1, and even then it's still a little bit messy and slow. And it lost a little bit of time to the few drivers in front of him. But Jordan now, without Giant Bravery all up in his grill behind him, Ariel Jordan starting to put the pressure on MCR, who's starting to fall back behind Camke. So MCR really focusing behind, trying to keep Jordan in behind there, because both of them don't have penalties. He's trying to stay within that penalty window of Camke, which I believe is 5 seconds. Yes, it is. A lot of drivers actually with 5-second penalties. Poldy Poles with 5 seconds, Camke with 5 seconds, and Giant Bravery Passe with 3, as well as Marty and Vagabonds down at the back. But yeah, Camke, he really needs to try and get a move on, because he needs to make his way past these drivers, and Poldy Poles is going just fast enough. Hope Maverick and Ryan B just going fast enough to where Camke can't keep up now.
Yeah, it feels like everyone's being a bit cautious. No one wants to take the risk to go for the overtake. They're kind of waiting to see what happens with the rain, I think, see if it goes away again, and that's when we'll start to see the big moves. But for people like Camke, obviously we don't like to say that races are decided on Stewards Day, but often they are. He can't take that risk. He has to try and get past them, because he might not get his penalty removed. He has to get a 5-second gap at some point, and we've seen how fast Maverick and Ryan B are in the dry. I can't see him pulling 5 seconds on them in the dry.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Giant Bravery and Passe are trying to make the move into turn 8. He's up the inside of the Williams driver, but I don't think he's going to be able to get that one done. That was a little bit ambitious from the Alfa Romeo driver. The Williams driver able to stay in front for the time being, but now he's starting to lose time. He's starting to lose touch with Jordan and MCR there. Just in front of them, but still up at the front, it's very boring up at the front. Let's just say that. Poldy Poles, Alt Maverick, Ryan B, Camke, all staying in a train, if you will. MCR starting to has been falling back for the last few laps now. Giant Bravery Passe is starting to spice it up a little bit this race here at Singapore, but Slayer, Major Falcon unable to close up to these guys even after Passe bunched them up a little bit. Those two, the Alpine and the Red Bull, but still unable to make moves. Marty and Vagabonds have been closing down these drivers just a little bit.
Close now.
But yeah, Maverick. Is this going to be the lap? We said it was going to be the lap a few laps ago, but he just wasn't able.
It just seems poor at Sector 3, so he's not catching up in time to be able to get to like the DRS straight. That seems to be the issue. As these few corners, Poldy just seems to get enough time ahead to be able to. Obviously, there's no DRS, so you can just go slipstream and ERS, and Maverick doesn't seem to be close enough after turn 3 because he loses so much time in Sector 3. As Slayer's got past Passe, and Passe, has he gone? He's lost 2 positions there.
Yeah, Passe losing 2 positions there from Slayer and Major Falcon. So just as I said, actually Passe may have damage. It looks like he has damage,
he's
actually.
Got a lot of understeer, I think.
Just trying to get a front view of the car. I think he still has that. I think he still has both end plates, but maybe just something else, because yeah, he's really dropping off the pace. You can see how much he's understeering. Yeah, that's damage somewhere, but just can't really see it. But yeah, anyways, Alt Maverick was unable to close up to the back of Poldy Poles, because you just have really, in the wet, you have infinite ERS. You could just use all the ERS you want, and you won't lose any, really, because these guys are only down at 70%, and I'm sure they're using it almost every straight, or at least that's what they should be doing, to close up to the driver in front of him. Ryan B just kind of in the long haul, as well as Camke, Major Falcon, and Slayer finally switching positions, and I think Major Falcon has actually got that move done. So after a few laps of deliberation, he's actually was able to make the move around the outside of turn 9. Impressive there from Major Falcon, but now he has to try and get onto the back of Giant Bravery if he wants to make his way up through the field. Not really much else going on. Jordan still in the back of MCR. Camke, Ryan B all still following Alt Maverick. Alt Maverick with a little bit of a slide out of turn 14. Ryan B right up the back of the Ferrari. But once again, through this final sector, there's so much dirty air. There's so much turbulent air. And all the sprays could be getting in your way. Actually, as I say that, I think the rain has begun to stop. I don't think it's actually raining anymore, so it's going to be starting to dry out. But there's still quite a bit of spray, but I'm sure it's going to be dry tires very, very soon, maybe 2 or 3 laps. But yeah, Ryan B just unable to stick with these 2 guys through the final sector, and it's just a little bit, it's just a Constantina effect.
Yeah, and MCR's taking...
Oh, Jordan's out!
Left. He should put the power down too. I think
that's
MCR
a safety
had
car.
A real poor exit.
That has to be a safety car. There's nothing
Wait, is
yet.
he not coming out? And
Nothing yet.
Passey's going into the pits. Is he banking on the... Oh,
I think
got the damage. He has to pit anyway.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know,
can see the scene of the accident there.
Yeah, it's a safety car, and Passey has absolutely smashed that, but he's got... Well, he hasn't, actually, because he's going to have to go back onto the inters, then they'll have to pit again.
Unless he just pits on the inters right now. That'll put him right back in this race, really.
He's putting on the mediums. He's risking it.
Oh,
that is a bold move.
Vagabonds is
That is
picking
a
up the driver
very,
as well.
very bold move by Passey there. He's hoping for the rain to dry up by the time the safety
as well as
car
Marty.
ends.
Marty's going on old mediums.
Oh, this could get really interesting.
It's still...
This could really pay off. It depends how long the safety car stays out. And
it's still wet. I don't know
how it's looked upon to purposely keep the safety car out. Like, if you keep the gap, I don't know.
Well, eventually, after 3 laps of the safety car, or the leader being behind the safety car, it goes in. So, I don't know if it'll dry out by then, because it already looks pretty dry. There isn't any more spray from pulley poles. As Marty picks up a drive-through for speeding under the safety car as well as Vagabonds. But yeah, there's no more spray. It's drying out. You know what? If I was one of these drivers, I would pit right now. I would pit for mediums.
Yeah, Passey's not struggling. You can look at it. He's got grip. And just like when the rain came, it was wet.
It's gone. It's just gone.
What? It's gone. It's dry.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, these inters now really struggling. Like, a minute ago they were fine.
I say pit. Pulley poles, Alt Maverick. Vagabonds has picked up another drive-through for speeding into the pit lane. Pulley poles is in, Alt Maverick in. Ryan B, Cam K in. So the top 4 are all in.
I think Pulley poles just got damaged. They're going to have to serve the 5 seconds. Cam K's going to have to serve it as well.
Yeah.
This is massive for Maverick and Ryan.
Pulley poles has a gap, though. He's going to be in front of MCR, most definitely. MCR's in.
I think he got damage though coming into the pits.
Pulley poles, yeah, serving his 5-second penalty, but no damage repair for him yet. All Maverick's in. He's gone on to mediums. Ryan B as well. Pulley poles just leaving his pit box now. He's going to be out into 3rd place. MCR is in front of Cam K, which we expected from this one. Major Falcon is going on to softs, interestingly enough. The only driver going onto the set of soft tires, which could be interesting. I don't think that's the right decision, but it's definitely a gamble.
No, definitely not.
I mean, he has nothing really to lose. If he drops out at the bottom of the order, he's still scoring 2 points no matter what. And actually, Vagabonds has 2 drive-thrus, and Marty has a drive-thru as well. So, no matter what, he's finishing, what, P9 at the very least? So...
Well, this has worked out great for Maverick and Ryan, because they needed to get rid of Pulley poles as fast as they could. Pulley poles, well, he's got rid of his 5-second, but I think he'll prefer this, actually. Because he's sat in 3rd place, but he's got rid of his 5-second penalty. So as long as the stewards are kind to him, he's looking for a podium. But at the moment, this is really... Who's this messed up the most, really? You'd say probably MCR, because MCR looks like he's struggling on the pace. And now the people around him he can no longer rely on getting past them on penalties. He has to get past them on speed.
Oh my. I would just like to take a PSA that Dylan is on the podium in D1 right now.
Oh, no, I can't stand that.
On lap 28 of 31.
No, he has to crash. Please
he's 13.8 seconds behind Alba and Eustasis, but he's on the podium with Cantera, Nathan, and Rocco, the 3 drivers behind him with all penalties, and then it's Montana.
Dylan has to crash. Come on, everyone put your fingers together for Dylan to crash. Anyway, we should probably focus on Division 4, because this is a spicy race that's about to happen now. This is 2 championship contenders battling out. 2nd place is in 1st, so he's got it all to win here. The podium is anyone's guess. Falcon, how much of an impression can he make on these softs? And he has to make it fast, because they will die quick. He has to get ahead of these drivers as fast as he can on a track that's very hard to overtake on. But we joked earlier that the softs won't come out, that the rain will go within a lap, and the rain's gone within a lap.
Yeah. And
why is the safety car not going in?
Vagabond's not catch up before the middle sector split. That's why.
This is helping out Falcon, then you'd assume.
Yeah, because we're going to be going on to lap number 25 when we start. So we're going to do, well, lap 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. That's 7 laps. 7 laps. That's still a lot. And you're going to have, what, like 8, maybe 9 laps of tire wear after the safety car? It's going to be interesting. I'm not entirely sure.
Another safety car doesn't even help him out, because everyone else just won't pit.
Yeah. He's just going to be at the back.
I think he's made the wrong call here, because he's got the pace, he showed that. I think on the mediums he could get himself up to maybe 6th or 5th place. Yeah. I don't understand why he's gone for that, but the main focus right now, everyone's in the points, so they can all be happy as long as they finish the race. It's Maverick versus Ryan at the moment, 2 championship contenders. If Ryan wins this, it's huge for the title, because it puts a lot of pressure on Maverick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've only done, well, this will be the 5th race. We've only done 4 races. There are, what, 17 races this season? There's still a long way to go in this championship, but putting on that, it won't even be that much. If Alt Maverick finishes 2nd, Ryan B finishes 1st, but it depends on who gets fastest lap. I would imagine Major Falcon would get it. Or Bagabones or Marty would get it with fastest lap.
5 races.
Yeah, Alt Maverick could take his 3rd win. Ryan B could take his 2nd win. So, it's going to be interesting.
Maverick has had 1 race off of the podium. Everything else he's finished on the podium. As the safety guy's going to come in this lap. He looks like he's on to keep that. Maverick, obviously, he had 2 wins in a row. He did miss USA, but the 2 races he did with Bahrain and Spain, his first 2 races were wins. Giant bravery. He did get his win at Britain, and he's looked pretty good today. He's had a few mistakes, but he has looked good overall. But obviously, with his penalty, it's going to be tough for him to get anything.
Yeah. Oh my lord. Alright. Anyways, stop looking at Division 1, Ethan, please. Alright, back to Division 4. Alt Maverick is going really fast for the safety car to be in on this lap. I would imagine he would have slowed down a lot earlier. Or slowed down a lot more. But he's trying to warm up those tires, putting as much
don't hit the wall
as he can into them. Alt Maverick is now going through the final corner. Now it's going to be a sprint to the end of this race as we go into lap number 25. 7 laps to go here in Singapore for under the lights at the Marina Bay Street Circuit for division number 4 for round number 5. This could be a possible turning point in the championship. Alt Maverick leads from Ryan B, but Ryan B has a 10-point lead in the championship as we go right now. MCR, KMK, Slayer, Giant Bravery, all these guys following in behind. Major Falcon unable to make a move earlier on here, but Marty and Bagabones. Bagabones has 2 drive-thrus to serve, I believe. We can take a quick look right now, but I think Marty only has the 1, so yeah, those 2 are going to be dropping off the back of the field. But Alt Maverick, purple in the first sector. He's 3.5 tenths of a second up on his personal best, only through the first sector. So these times are going to be absolutely dropping as we head down towards the end of the race, and as we already are on low field. Alt Maverick still leading away, and is starting to pull away from Ryan B, who seems to be struggling with pulley pulls. But MCR, KMK, Slayer, Giant Bravery, and Major Falcon, as well as Pasley, all seem to be pretty comfortable with following the car in front of them.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a little bit of that transition period where it is tough when you've been so used to feathering around corners and like struggling to turn in the rain, and all of a sudden then you get this grip on the dry sets with the dry track. It is hard for the first few laps to maybe adjust to that, and some drivers do better than others at just quickly changing that mindset of how you race. And Maverick's nailed this, and if he can keep this gap before the DRS is activated, that is massive, because we know how strong the DRS is after turn 3. As Giant Bravery gets another penalty.
Yeah, unfortunate there for him. But yeah, as you mentioned, Alt Maverick, if he can keep this lead, it's just over a second, but not through the final sector. He did seem to adapt quite well, but I think Ryan B has started to find his form just a little bit here, just heading through the final 2 corners. Alt Maverick fastest lap of the race, a 137.4. He's going to need to push it if he really wants to get on and away with this one.
No, not pass it. Falcon's in. Wait, what?
Marty has sped into the pit lane while serving his drive-thru. Bagabones is also serving his drive-thru. Major Falcon, I think, is just changing tire compound, I would imagine. But yeah, Alt Maverick is now going to be into the lead of this race. Ryan B is going to be there or thereabouts. Poldy Pulls is going to be there or thereabouts, but they're fighting for the podium now here for Poldy Pulls, for MCR, for KMK, for all those guys, or well, for those 3 drivers. Slayer started to drop off. Giant Bravery struggling. Passe not able to stick with these guys. Marty, Bagabones, and KMK, or Major Falcon, all coming out of the pit lane now, but it's going to be Ryan B and Alt Maverick up at the front of the race, but Ryan B really needs to get a move on if he wants to get that DRS and have any shot really of winning this race.
Yeah, this is absolutely crazy at the moment. Maverick has been really, really impressive at the restart, and he's going to keep the DRS gap at the moment. I can hear Packer typing, which makes me fear the worst that Dylan's just going to podium.
GG Dylan. GG Dylan.
Check.
GG Dylan.
I will not check this now. We've got a scrap at the back for some extra points between Baggenbones and Marty. I don't even know what to think with their bloody penalties. There's Marty. I think he's got damage again. I don't know how many wing changes have we had. How much money do you think we've spent this weekend at Singapore just on wing changes?
Too many. Too many.
Oh, Ryan's catching fit. Maverick has had a really poor lap. It's at sector 3. He struggled in the rain with it. I thought maybe it's just the rain. He seems to be struggling here again. And
Yeah.
now Ryan's in DRS range, and
Ooh.
Ryan showed really good pace, especially in quality. This could be a really good end to the race.
Yeah, we're going to have a battle for the lead here in Division 4 right at the end of this one. Let's see how it plays out, though. All Maverick P1, Ryan B P2 just trying to follow him. He's going to have DRS. He's going to be able to close up, and he already has that 15% ERS advantage just going down through turn 6 now. Pody pulls 2.7 seconds back, pulling away a little bit for MCR, but is just able to nick DRS off the Alfa Romeo in front. So Pody pulls trying to solidify a third place from him. Passe and Giant Braver getting very close through turn 6, and Passe is able to get that move done into turn 7, goes a little bit deep, just a touch deep, but is able to keep that move and keep it within bounds on the racetrack. But now we have to watch this battle up at the front of the race. There's also something that we have to imagine. Marty's in to get a wing change. Baggenbones is in to serve his second drive-through. But yeah, something we have to mention, Cam K is getting really close to the back of MCR. MCR makes a little bit of a mistake through the old Singapore sling, and now under the bridge and into the hairpin of turn 13. Let's see what Cam K can do as we head down towards turn 14 with the DRS, with the ERS. MCR doesn't use his ERS until about halfway through the street. Halfway down the straight. That was very close for Cam K. It's very difficult to get a move done, especially on the inside of that corner. You can just get turned in on quite easily. You might have to use that one in the race. You never know. But yeah, Pody pulls 3.1 seconds off the lead. MCR seemingly struggling with Cam K, trying to dive all over him. But yeah, it's going to be Ryan B versus All Maverick. That gap is now only half a second, just extending to 0.6 of a second. But it's going to be All Maverick and Ryan B. Championship battle on the line here. Race win on the line here in Singapore with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, and if Ryan gets a good sector 1 here, he's going to get that DRS slipstream coming down. And this will really show, is he happy to settle for second and keep the lead of the championship, or is he desperate for those wins? What type of a racer is Ryan? We're going to find out in the last 4 laps of this race. I think he's a bit far back this time, but if he just sits here, he might just wait until the last lap, you know.
Yeah.
Maverick's on 24%.
Ooh,
He
Cam
does
K
not
and
want
MCR.
that to dip under. He's gone wide. He does not want that to dip under, because if he shows Ryan that he's depleting at all, if you can see that red light, he'll know that he can just fully attack him. I made that mistake before of, you don't think it does show the driver behind you that you're low in ERS. The battle for third place is still on, barely, but it's still on.
Yeah.
It's all about these front two right now.
Yeah, that's the only battle we can really watch. Cam K was able to really blast his way past MCR. There was really no opportunity for MCR to fight that. But now Cam K into a little bit of clean air. He has about 3 tenths more of clean air before he starts to hit that turbulent air. But you also get the slipstream advantage once he gets within that 1 second, as well as DRS. But Ryan B versus All Maverick as we head into the final sector now on for the 28th time. Ryan B not using as much of the track that you really can. All Maverick trying to use all the track that he can, trying to get in all the advantage that he really can. All Maverick a little bit wide there under the grandstand, though, for the right-hander, but now into the final chicane for turn 20 and 21. Yeah, All Maverick seems to be really strong off the exit of that final chicane, but seems to struggle a little bit more at the beginning of that final sector. But Ryan B unable to stick too close to him. But now as we head on to lap number 29, 3 laps to go here in the Singapore Grand Prix, as Marty picks up a 3-second penalty at the back of the field. Not many other
close
laps.
now. He's close now.
This is going to be his one opportunity.
Because they've both got 2 warnings as well, so they're both a warning away from getting a penalty.
Ooh, All Maverick's hit the wall,
Maverick.
though.
How's that giving damage?
This
game, you know what it's like. You can't see it.
It's difficult to tell. All Maverick a little bit wide through turn 7. That could just be him braking a little bit too late. Baggerbones picks up a 3-second time penalty. All Maverick all over the curb at turn 8. But let's see how much...
Ryan's putting him under pressure. We're going to get a last lap overtake back. I can feel it.
It's gonna be interesting. All Maverick still struggling a little bit for ERS, 24% compared to Ryan B's 43%. But it's the Mercedes. It's really, this is Ryan B's race to lose at this point now, because he has the DRS, he has the ERS advantage as we head down towards turn 14 with DRS. He's gonna be, I don't think he's gonna be close enough to make this move. Just saving his ERS. That's smart there from the Mercedes driver. He doesn't have to make a move until it's absolutely necessary, and All Maverick needs to be prepared for that one opportunity that Ryan B is going to take down towards turn 7. You'd have to imagine 35-7 for Marty. He will snack fast lap for the time being.
Does not want a penalty. He's staying away from every single apex. And could he pressure him into a mistake? Maybe that's how it be. Ryan has to push to get past him. They're both one warning away from a penalty. As Maverick's got a much better exit there, and I think Ryan knows he's faster. He just needs to get the run going into turn 3. Maverick's not going to let him pass easily.
This might be the lap, you know. Ryan B uses Ryan B uses a little bit of ERS off the final corner to get a little bit closer through the first 3 corners. Now All Maverick with a little bit of a slide on traction, and those rear tires seemingly crying out for grip for just a little bit of a break. But Singapore absolutely relentless on your tires. Now using the ERS, using the DRS, he uses a little bit, but to no avail because he's not getting anywhere near close. Ariel Passe picks up a 3-second penalty in P6, but look how close he is in turn 7. All Maverick all the way wide, and that's a 3-second penalty. And now he's going deep into turn 8. Ryan B trying to get the switchback. Let's see if he can do it around the outside of turn 9. Ferrari and Mercedes going side by side, and Ryan B has gotten that overtake done into turn 9. All Maverick made the mistake into turn 7. He went deep. He got the penalty, and now Ryan B has made the overtake in turn 8 and turn 9. Absolutely stunning from the Mercedes driver, and that's just what shows who's going to win this championship later on in the season. All Maverick folded to the pressure, and Ryan B has come out on top here in Singapore. Still a lap and a half to go, but it looks like Ryan B is raced to win now.
Yeah, Ryan B just has to play this calm. He just has to not get a penalty. I know it's not as pretty, but he can afford to let Maverick pass if Maverick makes a move and just stick behind him with no penalties. You're fighting for a championship, not a single race win. It looks like Ryan's got this in the bag now, and we called it. They were both struggling. You could see Maverick was trying to play it so careful, and he's gone wide. He picked up a warning in the exact same place a couple of laps ago. It'll be interesting to see whether he did get really light damage when he hit the wall, because it's since then that he picked up those 2 warnings. But Maverick, it seems, has played this masterfully.
He cut the final corner as well, so maybe another warning for him. So possibly, I don't think he's going to be able to get that penalty removed if he did pick up a warning of no fault of his own later or earlier on in this race. But yeah, All Maverick seemingly struggling here on the final lap.
The fight for 3rd place as well. Look at Cam K, he is right up the back of Paul Defoe's.
Yeah, McLaren versus Alfa Romeo, Mercedes versus Ferrari engine, now Mercedes versus a Ferrari up at the front for the possible race victory. I don't think All Maverick's going to be close. He's using all of his ERS. I don't think he's going to be close enough.
He's going to send it. He's going to send it. That was
into the back
beautiful
of him.
Defending. That was amazing positioning of his car there.
Yeah, Paulie Pulls just threw it to the middle of the racetrack. Kemke had no idea where to go. He could have gone left, he could have gone right, but decided that, you know, I'll stay right here. That's fine. And Paulie Pulls will keep 3rd place for the time being. They don't really have a shot at catching Alt Maverick. They're about 2 seconds off the penalty window, but Alt Maverick and Ryan B still battling it out for the race victory here on track, at least. Alt Maverick, I don't think he's going to really have a shot. He's using his ERS, possibly going to try and force Ryan B into a mistake, but I think Ryan B has this race, victory done and dusted, but Paulie Pulls now derating. Cam K derating into turn 14. He's going to send it. He's really late on the brakes. That's way too far back. He was lucky that he was too far back. Otherwise, that could have been an incident. We have a half spinning. That's Bag of Bones at turn 3.
You don't want to DNF now. Get your points.
But yeah, it's going to be Ryan B and Alt Maverick. Ryan B and Alt Maverick are going to be tied on race victories here in season number 6. But Ryan B is going to be taking home that championship lead. He's going to extend it to 17 points as we head out of Singapore here tonight, out of the Marina Bay Street Circuit. The fireworks are for the Mercedes man. It's Ryan B who takes the race victory here tonight in the Division 4. Alt Maverick in P2. Paulie Pulls will take home a 3rd place and will extend his make his points 25 instead of 10. Now, Cam K will finish P4. Another solid result for the McLaren driver. I believe that's his 2nd or 3rd, 4th place, if I'm not mistaken. MCR in P5 with a solid but quiet drive from him. Slayer in P6. Passe in P7. Giant Bravery in P8. Struggled a little bit, a few too many mistakes for him. Major Falcon in P9. Marty, has just crashed out of the race. So he will be finishing out, well, not finishing, but I would imagine he'd be in P10, and Bag of Bones has 0 front wing as well. So
Bag of Bones can overtake him.
Yeah, I think Bagbones is going to get
He's gonna bag
that
himself a
overtake done.
P10.
With no front
Major
wing,
Falcon,
he's going to
with
get
the
a P.
strangest tactics of all, gets a P9.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm not entirely sure what happened there at the end of the race for Bagbones for Marty. But yeah, Ryan B, race winner here in division number 4. Man.
Just wait for Bagbones to crawl his way to pick up his points. And it just showed it's one of those tracks, again, 10 finishers. If you finish the race, you get some points. It's that simple.
Yeah, it really is. Just that simple. Anyways, yeah, Ryan B. 17-point championship lead now for the Mercedes driver. Alt Maverick, just two mistakes that didn't need to be made right at the end of that race. Yeah, unforced errors really from Alt Maverick, but I'm sure he can bounce back. Still, what? 12 more races left in this championship. There's still a lot of time to bounce back, but yeah, you can see Ryan B there taking the top step of the podium, followed by Alt Maverick and followed by Poldy Pose. But yeah, nothing you can really say about that. Ryan B, strong in qualifying, strong in the race, and was able to take home the race victory.
Yeah, and the 4-stop ended up being the one. We've got a few people that have done a 7-stop. I can see from Marty there. Interesting strategy. Interesting. I think that's my Monaco strategy. That a 7-stop. Doesn't quite work out, but it's the 2 drivers at the front. One started on the softs, one started on the mediums. So there you go. What do we know? I think the main thing that it showed was the character fighting for the title. Maverick, you just saw him crumble at the end. He was struggling to, Ryan seemed to be the faster driver anyway. And then when it mattered, obviously he crumbled, he picked up the penalty, and Ryan got the overtake on track as well.
But yeah, that's it from Singapore, really. We do have the interviews to go, but you can see Ryan B's final race time. Remember, this is the race leader. 1 hour and 46 minutes. Oh my. Or 1 hour and 46 seconds. My bad.
And yeah. Division 3 is still going on, may I add.
I believe they had a lobby glitch, if I'm not mistaken. But because they did have to restart their stream, I think. But yeah, we can now get Ryan B, Alt Maverick, and all of them in here very, very, very quickly. I should be able to get Alt Maverick, because he should be right at the top of my friends list. Alt Maverick. Poldy Pose. Is it Poldy Pose F1 or Poldy Pose 34? It's Poldy Pose 34, alright. And then we need Ryan B. There we go. Alright, add players. And we can get them in here. Oh my gosh, everyone has left the lobby already. Interesting.
I think they spent too long in Singapore. They don't want to spend any longer.
Yeah. Just waiting for them to get in here now, and we can start the interviews. So, Jack, I will allow you to do the interviews. Especially after that fantastic introduction.
It was an incredible introduction.
Yeah. So take it away.
What have we got in here? We've got Ryan B. Ryan, congratulations on your win, mate.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was exhausting.
So, I'll start off straight away because in qualifying, your lap on the mediums was brilliant. Did you know in the race that you had the pace on Maverick, or was you just like hoping that he would pick up a penalty?
I knew I had a pace advantage, but I know how difficult it is to overtake, so I didn't think I'd be able to unless I forced him into a mistake. So I just tried to push and force an error out of him.
Yeah, well, you definitely pushed him. The last few laps, we could see you were closing the gap. Sector 3, you seem to struggle at a bit. You never seem to quite get into the range to abuse the DRS because he just always seemed to have that little like 2 or 3 attempts that he'd pull out just before it mattered. When he picked up the penalty, was your plan to always still try to beat him on track, or would you have just been happy to sit behind him and get the win on the penalty?
Um, it happened so quick. I mean, he got a penalty, and then the next corner he kind of went wide, I think, or did some sort of mistake, and that it just happened so quickly. I couldn't even think what to do.
That's fair enough. You went past him. You showed that you weren't just settling for second place to get the championship. And speaking of the championship, obviously, it seems to be quite quickly becoming a two-horse race. Obviously, there's a lot more races to go, but it does seem to be you and Maverick. Going into the races now, after what you've seen, do you think that the title, that you could have it in the bag? Obviously, you can't have it confirmed yet. But I think today would have been a great show of someone's like mental attitude towards the race. Do you now think you can go on and win it, or do you still think Maverick could have the upper hand?
Ooh, tough question. I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's going to go down to the last race.
So you're going to bottle it again, is what you're saying?
No, I just think it's going to be. I think we're very close, as we've shown on pretty much every race, and I don't think anyone's really got an advantage outright.
Maverick, do you think you got an advantage?
I mean, after today and getting the penalty, probably not. But it's just a mental error that I can't really do anything about it. So, but I'll agree with Ryan. I do think this will go down to the last race, and I do hope that it does go down to the last race, and maybe we'll have that same 5-6 lap battle with just us at the very end of the race to decide the title. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, I think we'd also like it to come down to the last race, because it was very entertaining to watch at Singapore. It was always going to be you two at the front, and then obviously it did end up being you two. And I think it was nice that when the rain stopped, it just became you two, and you didn't have that obstacle of another driver in front of you that weren't holding you both up, but you could tell you two had a bit more pace in the bag that you weren't really able to show. Next week's France. I've seen Ryan be pretty decent at France. Are you hoping for a second win in a row?
Of course, always. I'm just going to have to practice, put the work in, and see how it goes.
That's too modest. I want you to tell Maverick that you're going to beat him.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it, because if it doesn't work out, then I'm going to look stupid.
Then I'll record it. Well, congratulations on the win, and congratulations on extending the gap. And I will let Packer interview his fellow Americano comrade.
There's not much to say. I'll just go with my one generic question as always. I think you kind of led us into it, but France next week. Any thoughts? Any more thoughts?
Brilliant interview, mate.
It's finally another track where I think not running like 10-11 or 11-10 wings is going to be the thing.
What do you mean you're not running 14-15 wings?
I don't have the esports build of the game, so no. But I think France will be different in terms of the setups, and I think that's probably going to help in terms of just a lot of things. It's going to be a nice change of pace, really, to be at a different style of track for once. And I do like France. I think it gets a lot of hate, and it shouldn't. It's a nice track to race at, but we won't know who's going to have the upper hand until everybody starts to sweat time trial, at Friday night at 3 a.m. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just keep going in the championship and trying to get ahead once again.
Get ahead once again? My guy just went. He's not even been ahead of him once. He said once again. That's mad.
He was leading the championship after the first race.
Yeah.
Oh, you won a race. You've won two. Oh, you both got two race wins now. So one of you's going to have to win the next race, and then the season ends there.
Okay.
You're desperate for some beef here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
I've not met one Ryan in this community that caused him trouble.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna have to go because we've got a race like now.
Yeah, literally now, because D3 just finished. So yeah, thank you for giving us a very long
I gave Ryan a full-length interview whilst doing TT on Singapore, and you give Alt Maverick one question.
I gave both of them one question. That Remy just decided not to answer.
ZOR that I'm just used to him
This is the
not really
prestige of
caring.
winning, Maverick. You get the good interview if you win. That's the thing. So next time, don't pick up the penalty, and you'll be alright.
See, when I do
Okay.
ZOR EU every Sunday at like 4 o'clock solo, it gets pretty boring. So the interviews are quite lackluster. Anyways. Yes, thank you for both joining us in the commentary booth. And next week, France, we saw a little bit of a preview for that, but hopefully we'll get some more action like we had this week. Check out D1 and D3 that both just finished earlier on, and then as well as D2 and D5, which will be starting here shortly. But anyways, thank you once again, and goodbye. That's been all, folks.